What's up, Lumio's trainers? Lumio's trainer Zach here. Sun and Moon has been out for half a year now. I know, sounds crazy. And since then, we've been getting swarmed with lots of top 5s from all around YouTube. We've got top 5 hardest Pokemon to obtain, top 5 hardest Pokemon to evolve, top 5 cutest Pokemon, top 5 best shinies, and even top 5 sexiest characters. But has anyone ever made a top 5 of Sun and Moon Pokemon they would eat? That's right. Wait, hold up. Ad revenue has been kinda garbador lately, so let's make it a top 10. The top 10 Sun and Moon Pokemon I would eat. Not gonna lie, I was really hungry when I thought of this idea. Surprisingly though, there aren't many Pokemon from Ula'ula I would consider edible. I mean, technically anything could be edible if you try hard enough, but I really don't see myself eating something like a Pyukumuku. Just cause it's based on a sea cucumber doesn't mean it tastes like an actual cucumber. Those things are nasty. And regular cucumbers aren't that great either. Alright, if you're excited for this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10. Ribombee. Have any of you eaten a beet fly before? I sure haven't. To be honest, I don't think this is something anyone would eat. Sure, it's cute, but that doesn't mean it tastes good. So why, Zach? Why did you put it on the list, you might be wondering to yourself? Well, I'll tell you why. I decided to put it on the list because of its Pokedex entries. In Pokemon Sun it says, it rolls up pollen into puffs. It makes many different varieties, some used as food and others used in battle. And its Pokemon Moon entry says, some of Ribombee's pollen puffs are highly nutritious. They are sometimes sold as supplements. Both Dex entries seem to emphasize that Ribombee's pollen puffs are pretty nutritious. Well, if the pollen puff is good for you, imagine how good Ribombee itself might be. Seems like a huge gamble, but I'd definitely take the chance if I were starving on a deserted island. Number 9. Shiinotic. Did somebody say shrooms? What? Not those kind? Oh, okay. So I have some friends that think mushrooms are gross, but not me. I actually like mushrooms, especially on my pizza. So I wouldn't mind giving good old Shiinotic here a try. The only problem is its ability. One of Shiinotic's abilities is Effect Spore. For those of you that don't know, Effect Spore is an ability that can cause 1 of 3 status conditions if you make physical contact with the Pokemon that has this. These 3 status conditions could be sleep, paralysis, or poison. So if I want to eat Shiinotic, I'd have to be okay with potentially being put to sleep against my own will, being paralyzed, or even being poisoned. Yeah, I think I'll pass this time. No meal is worth that. I think I'll take the first shrooms. But you know, there is a bright side to this. Effect Spore isn't the only ability that Shiinotic has. It actually has 2 other abilities that aren't life-threatening. So if you're feeling lucky, try eating a Shiinotic. There's only a 2 out of 3 chance that it won't kill you. Number 8. Trumbeak. Out of the new Alolan birds introduced, Trumbeak is the best candidate. Not Pikipek cause it's young and I'd feel guilty, and not Toucanon cause of that scary face, I'd feel guilty. It's gotta be Trumbeak. But just like Ribombee, this is another Pokemon that I wouldn't know the taste of. I tried looking up what Woodpecker would taste like, but I couldn't find much. I guess it's not a popular bird to eat. But you know what is a popular bird to eat? Chicken. So I can only assume that it would taste something like that. Apparently cardinals taste really good because they eat a lot of berries. So if Trumbeak were to taste bad, just feed it a bunch of berries until it's nice and thick. I'd personally feed it tomato berries because I love spicy food. Just gotta add the right seasoning and bam! You've got a Thanksgiving dinner. Number 7. Mudsdale. Alright, now we're getting into the Pokemon that wouldn't sound so weird to eat. You might be thinking, ew, gross, horse meat. But it's actually pretty normal to eat horse meat in Central Asia and even some parts of Europe and South America. It's only in the West that eating horse is considered weird and disgusting. This is because over here, horses have a pet status similar to a dog or a cat. Yeah, it's more of a farm animal, but the way you would treat a horse is way different than the way you would treat a pig or a cow. When you look at these two, what do you see? I don't know about you, but I see a double bacon cheeseburger. But when I look at a horse, I see a majestic creature that's kind enough to let me ride it into the sunset. So yeah, that's why Mudsdale's so low on the list. I don't want to eat it, Mudsdales are cool. But when push comes to shove, if I'm starving and the only thing around is a Mudsdale, well, bon appetit, am I right? Plus, who's not to say we haven't already eaten a little horse meat? The Big Mac is a thing and nobody really knows what it's truly made of. I mean, the people at McDonald's know, but they won't tell us. So if it does have some horse meat, or shall I say Mudsdale meat, then it's pretty delicious. Number 6. Lurantis. Alright, enough with the meat. It's time for a healthier eating choice. Time to eat our greens. Or pink, to be more accurate. What's really cool and interesting about Lurantis is the fact that even though it looks like a bug, it actually isn't. I mean, duh, it's a pure grass type. Lurantis is actually a flower that's disguising itself as a bug. I don't know why, since they're weak to similar things. Maybe it's to catch the rock types off guard? Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that Lurantis is a plant, so it can make a great salad choice. I'm not much of a salad eater, but when I do it with some vinegar and olive oil, and maybe a little bit of pepper sprinkled on top. I would actually be excited to try Lurantis salad. It would be a nice way to get revenge after what Totem Lurantis did to my team at Malo's trial. Stupid flower. What's cool is that there are actually loads of edible flowers out there in the world, so Lurantis just might fit this category. Hey, maybe that's why it's disguised as a bug, so people would think it's gross and not try to eat it. Anyways, yeah, if any of you are looking for a tasty and healthy option, head over to Malo's family restaurant and ask for a Lurantis salad. I'm sure she was able to make a few after you defeated it during the trial. Number 5. Bruxish. Okay, ignore its disgustingly ugly teeth. Wow, those things are actually pretty nasty. This thing has the potential to be tasty. I really love seafood. Just fry it up and add a little lemon squeeze and this thing would be perfect. Bruxish is based on the Hawaiian reef triggerfish. Nobody knows what it tastes like because it's actually illegal to poach these things. But I was able to find out what other triggerfish taste like, specifically the gray triggerfish. Turns out they're actually kind of sweet, which is a pretty interesting taste for a fish to have. So Bruxish is definitely a Pokemon I would want to eat. That psychic typing might be a problem though. Like, what if by eating this Pokemon I end up getting affected by weird psychic powers that are in its body? There are actually fish in real life that cause hallucinations if you eat them, the most famous being the Sarpa Salpa. Back in 2006, it was reported that 2 men ate this fish and had hallucinations that lasted several days. Pretty crazy stuff. Now imagine if I ate a fish that had actual psychic powers. Sounds dangerous, but how can I resist a sweet tasting fish? I guess I better have a Lumberry handy, cause you know, they heal confusion. Number 4. Turtonator. Turtonator is one huge turtle, so you know what that means. Turtle soup. It's actually pretty common to eat this, so don't freak out. If I were to describe the taste of turtle, I'd compare it to that of chicken, cause that's what people told me. Sadly, I haven't had the pleasure of eating turtle yet, but I mean, come on. Tell me that soup doesn't look delicious to you. If you see this at a fancy restaurant, it would definitely make your mouth water. I imagine Turtonator soup being served at the Sushi High Roller in Melee City. I think it fits. What's cool about Turtonator is its shell though. It can be used as a giant bowl. All you gotta do is flip the shell on its back so that the spikes hold it up, and you're good to go. How convenient. And if you're not a soup kind of guy, or girl, I'm sure there's plenty of other ways you can eat Turtonator. There's deep fried Turtonator nuggets, Turtonator gravy and rice, and even Turtonator etouffee. You've got lots of eating options when it comes to this Pokemon. Oh yeah, and did I mention that this Pokemon is huge? You will not go hungry if you cook one of these, so I'm totally down for this one. Plus, imagine how cool it would be to say that you've eaten a dragon before. Number 3. Bounsweet. Alright, I'm sure a lot of you already saw this one coming. Bounsweet is known for being eaten by others. Just check out his Pokédex entries. In Pokemon Sun it says, a delectable aroma pours from its body. They are often swallowed whole by toucan, lured by that wafting deliciousness. And in Pokemon Moon it says, although it's too sugary for human consumption, Bounsweet Sweet can be watered down into a juice that's just the right amount of sweetness. Wow, that's a lot of sweet. Alright, so we know that toucans can eat these things, but apparently it's too sweet for human consumption. I doubt that, but the Pokédex knows best, right? But it is interesting how in Pokemon Moon it says that it can be watered down into a juice. How would it know that, unless people have tried it already? Bounsweet juice. Sounds great. All you need is a blender and some water and you're set. You can even make a nice Bounsweet smoothie. Or hey, I just thought of something. What if we took Lurantis and Bounsweet and made a nice fruit salad? That'd be great. And what a coincidence that Mallow has a Steenie, the evolved form of Bounsweet, meaning she knows a lot about the pre-evolution and how tasty it can be. What if her entire family restaurant is based on food from Pokemon? Food for thought. No pun intended, of course. Number 2. Crabrawler. I've got 3 words for you.
Big, meaty claws!
Just look at those claws. I bet they taste great. This is another Pokemon that has Dex entries that specifically mention how good it tastes. Let's check out his Pokemon Moon entry. It punches so often its pincers come off from overuse, but they grow back quickly. What little meat they contain is rich and delicious. Did you get that? It says rich and delicious. It says Crabrawler has little meat. I'm willing to bet that most of the meat is contained in its claws. So if you're able to round up a bunch of Crabrawlers and chop off their claws, you'd be set. You can only find them in front of berry trees, meaning berries is probably what its diet consists of. Maybe the berries they eat contribute to its rich and delicious taste. Man, just thinking about this Pokemon is getting me more and more hungry. To be honest, it almost made the #1 spot. The only problem is, I'm allergic to crab! At least I think I am. Every time I eat crab, my throat gets super itchy and it becomes hard to breathe. Nah, I'm sure it's nothing. Bring on the Crabrawler. Number 1. Wishiwashi. This is it, the best Alolan Pokemon to eat. Like I said before, I love seafood, so Wishiwashi is perfect. And like the past 2 Pokemon on this list, this one has a Dex entry to back up how good it would be to eat it. In Pokemon Moon it states, it's awfully weak and notably tasty, so everyone is always out to get it. As it happens, anyone trying to bully it receives a painful lesson. It may not be rich and delicious, but it does mention that it's tasty, so that's good enough for me. What's great about Wishiwashi is the fact that if it's level 20 and over, it can activate its schooling ability. With this ability, Wishiwashi calls on its friends to become a giant Wishiwashi. This thing is so huge that it can even scare Gyarados. It takes a lot of these little guys to become something this huge, so imagine if you were able to catch and cook every single Wishiwashi that comes together during schooling. You'd have enough to feed yourself for life. While it might be delicious to eat other Pokemon, you're gonna have to go through the hassle of breeding or catching multiple ones if you want more. This won't be the case for Wishiwashi, however. All you need is one with a level of at least 20 and you got yourself a Wishiwashi feast. There you have it, the top 10 Sun and Moon Pokemon I would eat. What do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you think there are other Alolan Pokemon that would be good to eat? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want to know what's going on with future videos, or if you just want to know what's up with me. Last but not least, make sure you live it out to the fullest, and I'll see you all next time. Man, I'm hungry.